What is going on? Welcome to episode 181 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, player 2. Mel, how are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good today.
Yeah, little Pokemon excitement in the air.
Yeah, a lot of it, actually.
Yeah, a lot. Guys, that music you just heard is from On Being Human. You can check them out on Spotify and YouTube. Remember, this is an unofficial Nintendo podcast. And if you'd like to get yourself a free book from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/NPC. Pick up something awesome like Blood, Sweat, and Pixels or Ready Player One. The chair I'm sitting in is from OP Seat. If you go to n64josh.com/OP Seat, you automatically save $10 at checkout. I love these gaming chairs. Go check them out. That's n64josh.com/OP Seat. If you'd like to pick up my new book, Another Castle, it's also available. It is available as an ebook or in audio form. Go to n64josh.com/Another Castle. Lastly, if you'd like to help support the content that I create, go to patreon.com/n64josh. With that, we're going to jump right into the announcements.
Hey, listen.
We do this show live on twitch.tv/N64Josh, Tuesdays and Thursdays, around, 4:30, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So come hang out. I'm streaming already. I'm already live, playing some Smash, things like that. I start streaming at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Thursday, and earlier on Fridays for our first looks, which I don't have the exact time on those yet. I'm trying to get a better schedule together where I'm incorporating the gym a little bit more so I can get a little more, get healthy, I think that's important. So that's it for the announcements. We're going to jump on into what we've been playing and some impressions. All right. So Mel, what have you been playing this last week?
Let's see. I did some Wargroove, trying to get all the A ranks. I did some Mario Kart yesterday. That was actually pretty fun. It's been a while since I did a little Mario Kart. I got yelled at a lot because I had a couple of shouldn't gotten first place finishes. Literally the last nanosecond, I would just cross the line. Getting called with hacks and stuff.
I understand.
Everybody's trying to use my Shy Guy now too, so that's super fun.
That's great. Any other games?
I finished up this little indie, The Gardens Between, last week-ish.
Okay.
Pretty short. Think of Captain Toad.
Yeah.
But you go on an island and you have to solve these puzzles, and you can control back time, and you control both characters at once. But each character does certain things. The guy, he does the chimes, and the girl, she holds the lantern. You need to light up the lantern to get to the end and place this lantern on this little pedestal. And artwork's really nice, music's really nice, and just seeing the environment move around, just things go back and forth in time. There's a jigsaw puzzle kind of thing, and it just kind of falls in place, and you can rewind it and just see it back like a popcorn tin. It just falls, and you can see all the little bits of popcorn just fall, and it's really cool. Really short, pretty good. But yeah.
I remember when they were showing that off at some of the the Nindies highlights or whatever, the Nindy Directs, and the art style and everything was pretty unique. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. It actually got an award for art excellency. It was the best Mac indie game of last year kind of thing too. It's on everything, so.
Gotcha.
If you want to sneak a peek at it.
Yeah. Cool. Say the name of that one again.
The Gardens Between.
The Gardens Between. All right. Cool. Well, for me, it's been a weekend of retro games for the most part. I mean, other than Smash and some Mario Kart, I jumped into games like Link's Awakening just a little bit. I jumped into Metroid Fusion.
Ooh.
I got that new Game Boy, that new...
that Micro is sweet.
Yeah, the Famicom Game Boy Micro. I've wanted one forever, and I finally pulled the trigger. So, and if you guys want to check that out, I have one of my game vlogs on YouTube. You can check that out there. But yeah, so jumped into some handheld games just a little bit. I didn't go hardcore, but I set up the GameCube and we played a handful of Mario sports games. I had never played Strikers, the baseball game. I think it's Superstar Baseball, I think, or
Isn't it
All-Star.
Sluggers?
Well, Sluggers is on the Wii.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought the same, but it's called like Mario's like Superstar Baseball on the GameCube. And then so played that, Strikers, golf, and power tennis. And I could really see some similarities in Aces from the GameCube power tennis. The thing is, it seemed like the tennis games had kind of just gone downhill. Like a lot of people didn't really seem to like the tennis games from like the GameCube on. Although I did hear a few people say they really liked the Wii one, but I know like the DS one, it was pretty bland. The Wii U one was fairly bland, and so it was cool. It was really cool playing some of those older titles. Of course, I'm having a blast with Smash. Just still working on my Mario, trying to get ready for a tournament. Playing another tournament this Friday, one of my locals. So I'm excited to do that. And then we got our Mario Kart tournament that's happening weekly. Saturday mornings when I fire up the stream. We had almost 12 people racing with us this time, so it was really good. So if you want an excuse to jump into Mario Kart, it'd be cool to have you guys join us. So. No new games. I didn't even sit down and do a first look this week. It was just the way scheduling was. I wasn't able to do it. I actually sat and reorganized my office and got all of my collection up on shelving and everything like that. Got new posters hung in my office. If you're just listening, if you're watching live, you can see them up there behind me. But those are all Nintendo World Championship 2017. That's what they gave out at Best Buy when you went to compete in Mario Kart 7. So kind of cool. They've been sitting in my closet forever, and just happened to find frames that fit them perfectly, which I was really surprised about. So that's pretty cool. But with that, I think we're gonna jump on over to our news.
Hey, listen.
That's not the news button. This is. All right. Well, Pokemon news is pretty much all we got going today. Just Pokemon news. That's it. We got Detective Pikachu. Now, it may be an unpopular opinion. I'm not sure. But I think it's looking amazing. I love the way all the Pokemon look. The only one that I was a little disappointed with that I think they could have made just a little bit cuter, I think was an Eevee, but I'm wondering if it wasn't a evolved form. Could I be correct there?
Oh, you mean Flareon?
Is that what it was? It wasn't an Eevee?
It's an Eevee.
Oh,
it's the Fire Eevee. Yeah.
Right. But in the trailer, do you know what I'm talking about?
I remember like it being by like a couple of statues, like the Arceus, Dalka, and like I think Palka statue. Like I didn't really completely understand that scene.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure it's Flareon.
Is it the one where it comes out of like a blue orb? Like it looks like it's teleporting or something?
It's like this little stand pedestal thing.
Yeah.
Lights flashing.
Yeah, so that was the only one. I'm like, after playing through Let's Go Eevee, I was like, come on, that's like when that thing, when Eevee says, yeah, boy, that's like the best thing ever. I'm like, they better make sure to get Eevee as cute as can be. But other than that, I love the fact that honestly, in my mind, I never pictured a lot of these things with like hair or things like that because they've just always been cartoons, Like I don't know why. It just never really crossed my mind. But like seeing a fluffy Pikachu, I'm like, I'm all about it. Snorlax, like, yes, please. He's just sitting on the road, Like
I like how they had that little flap fat just for him.
Yeah. So. Overall, and like I think Ryan Reynolds, I don't know that you could have picked a better character for Pikachu. And this whole thing, it's so out of left field, but like everything looks so good. Like all of the CG looks extremely good. The Ivysaur, aka Flower Cow, like wait, Ivysaur, is that right? Bulbasaur?
Ivysaur is the second one.
Bulbasaur. Yeah. So I guess it's Flower Calf at that point.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me.
It looks so good, but like the way their eyes look, just everything about it looks really good. And then there's just so much comedy. Seeing the is it called Mimic? Is that its name? The The one that looks like a mime? What, Mr. Mime?
Mr. Mime.
Oh, hey, I got it. I said it before you did. I'm trying to learn these things, guys. I'm trying, okay? I was thinking Mimikyu in my head, and I'm like, no,
But that's
it's not that.
it. Yeah.
That's not it.
Because I was like, man, if I saw a Minikyu in that, I was like, I would have died. I don't think I saw him though. Not yet.
So I'm trying, okay? I don't know these Pokemans very well. I'm working on it.
Gosh.
I'm working on it. So, but I'm learning. I tweeted out that like I'm like, I just want to do like this Snorlax and just sleep until it comes out in theaters. Like I cannot wait to watch to watch this movie. So what, I've talked long enough. How hyped are you?
Okay, so I was really excited to see one of my absolute favorites in this trailer today, but I didn't like how it looked.
Oh, no.
So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. I was like, hey, Ludicolo, he's getting some recognition. But it's like, oh, it looks like that. Because it kind of looks like you took like a lily pad and you put it like on Cousin It from like the Addams Family.
Oh, I see.
That's what it kind of reminded me of. But I liked how he's still in it. But my favorite thing from this movie so far is just like the little details in the background. Because like I saw like Arcanine with like the police force. I'm like, oh, that matches. That's cool. I saw like McChamp. He's like directing traffic. I was like, oh, I love little touches like that. So I'm just like looking in the background, seeing who I would try to find, like a game of like I Spy, just looking for any little tiny thing and like comparing notes with people. I'm like, hey, did you see this one there? I was like, oh no, I didn't see that. That's so cool. And the story, it looks pretty fun. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of how they look, but I know I'm gonna enjoy watching this, and I'm probably gonna see it a couple times just to see if I can see everybody doing, all their stuff. And I saw some complaints today because they kind of spoiled, quote unquote, something, which is a pretty obvious thing in my mind. So if you don't want to listen, just like stop like 10 seconds, But
Just skip the trailer.
yeah, when Mewtwo comes up, he comes out of the Pikachu balloon, and like my first impression was like, man, this guy is so jealous of Pikachu. He's messing up the Macy's Day Parade right here, just popping his balloon. But as soon as I saw Mewtwo, I was like, man, that is exactly how I would picture them making him. Now, I'm not the biggest Mewtwo fan, but it was pretty much perfect for me. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I think it's, I hope for they link it up with Pokemon Go and they give us like Detective Pikachu hats. You can catch a Pikachu with a detective hat. I hope that happens near the movie because I know they would put them by the theaters and I would totally go to the actual theater, which I hate doing, but I would do it if I can get a little Detective Pikachu.
So I wonder if there's going to be a little nod to Smash with that fight scene between him and Charizard in the ring. I'm like, what if they show if he throws up like any of his moves or anything from Smash, like that would be crazy. Because as I'm watching this, I'm not gonna lie, all I can think about is like, I just want a Smash movie. Like I want to see all these characters. I want to see them. I want to see them all come to life. Like I have no idea how they do it. It'd probably be as terrible as Mortal Kombat. But like,
especially now since like what 77, 76 of them, whatever, as of right now.
Yes, I just want to see Piranha Plant fighting Ganondorf or something. On the big screen. But yeah, to me they've done an amazing job. I like Jigglypuff in particular. I think he's probably the one that people dislike the most. I'm like, I don't know. I just love it. I love it. So really, really fun stuff. But that's not it for Pokemon news. No, that's not it. Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern, Pokemon Direct. 7 minutes of Pokemon glory. This is going to be our talking point later on. We're going to really kind of take a deep dive on this. But were you shocked when you saw this announcement? Were you kind of expecting it, being like tomorrow is like isn't it like considered Pokemon Day or something?
Yep, it's Pokemon Day tomorrow.
Yeah. Has this happened before? Announcements?
Not on like actual Pokemon Day, I don't think. Newish, yeah, kind of, but like I don't think we had like an actual like new gen kind of thing. I think the closest we had was Sun and Moon, but I can't remember exactly when in February we had this. And I was not the biggest fan of the Sun and Moon reveal.
I see. Okay. Well, like I said, we're gonna take it. We're gonna get more into this direct in our talking points. We're gonna keep on going through the news here. Dragalia Lost has made an estimated 75 million, which is more than Mario and Animal Crossing combined. Have you played this much?
No, I have it downloaded, but I actually never launched it because I have a couple of friends who, they wanted to play. We all wanted to play at the same time, but it didn't come out in Canada, so
until today, apparently.
Yeah, now it's out.
Yeah,
so maybe we can start something.
The thing is, look, I don't play games on my phone all that much. I sign into Fire Emblem once a day. I haven't even really been doing Pokemon Go, and I've signed into it periodically just to collect stuff and unlock people, but I haven't really played. But the little bit that I did play it, it's done really well. Like if you're gonna make a mobile game, this is the way to do it. And it seems like a game. Part of the reason I don't want to start playing it is I'm afraid I'm gonna get way into it, honestly. And I usually don't have a lot of time just to sit and play games. And I'm thinking, okay, I have a backlog of Switch games, and here I am. I'm gonna be playing this cell phone game. But I really do think it's that good. Like I'd be curious once you get into it to hear what you think. So, because I mean it feels like a decent RPG for the cell phone, and it seems like it has a lot of potential. And Nintendo is marketing this thing a lot. There's almost daily I see a sponsored tweet on Twitter promoting this game.
I've been getting a lot of ads on it on YouTube actually.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah, they really do seem to be pushing, and I think they put a lot of money. The game feels like they put a lot of money into it. It looks like they put a lot of money into it. It plays like they put a lot of money into it. So they definitely want to get that return on investment. And I think if people just pick it up and play it, I think they're really going to like it. I need to see if there's a way to do it in like bite-sized chunks. You know what I mean? Because
yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because that is one of the main reasons I haven't done it. Because I know if this was actually, a console game, like on the Switch, I would have already played it. I would have been maxing out stuff, because just so much of that game is a lot. For like a cell phone game, you wouldn't expect that much amount of detail and depth into a little cell phone game.
Yeah, exactly. And what's kind of fun for me, the way if I'll get the little like notification or something like, hey, there's special gifts for the next 3 days to sign in, or next week or whatever. So I'll sign in and unlock stuff. When I finally go to jump into the game, I'm going to have like a decent team and things like that. At least I'm pretty sure, because I've been unlocking some things along the way as they've offered good incentives. So, it is one I need to put a little more time into. But again, I'm kind of afraid to. I'm afraid it's going to suck me in. So, Dead Cells is getting a huge free DLC pack coming soon. They've been working on this for 9 months apparently, and it's going to be launching on all platforms. And it is going to be free. There's not a lot of details about it yet, but it is coming soon. And apparently, if you play Dead Cells on Steam, it can tie in with your either Streamlabs OBS, or there's a plugin for the game that you can install on Twitch. And I believe your chat can actually pick items for you and things like that. So it's kind of cool that they're incorporating these roguelikes into Twitch streams in a way that allows the chat to kind of dictate what the streamer plays and how they play.
Oh, you better not stream this, boss.
I'll have no weapons all the time. It'll be great. So yeah, I'm a little curious to find out more information about that, because I was just talking about it with Nightcrawler yesterday. So I haven't seen anything or looked anything up firsthand, but he was kind of explaining it to me, and it sounds pretty neat. So Dead Cell's still going strong, and that game did really well, which I was really happy to see. So Final Fantasy, Mel, you're gonna have to help me out here. This Final Fantasy 12, we got new features being put into this old game. Can you kind of give us the lowdown on that?
Okay, so from the quick glance I saw, for physical collectors, there's a reversible like cover art. You know, you have the fancy Japanese art, and then you have the born USA art. You know, we usually get it's just like the white logo and like the logo.
Right.
That's that's born. But if you get it physical, you have the reversible. It's like all the couches on it and such. It's really nice. In this version, there is New Game Plus. And you can transfer like items, you magic, you money and stuff like that. Oh, and there's job resets. So if you're anything like me and there's an RPG game and you have to pick out your job, you're probably sitting there for like a good 20-30 minutes really trying to guess ahead of like what is the game gonna like throw at you. But for this, you can just change on the go, it looks like. And people like me, I'm gonna love that. And there's something called gambit sets, and I unfortunately have not played this game, so I don't know what that is. But I remember in the video it showed 3 sets of that. So whatever that is, you get like 3.
I see. So is this gonna be a pickup for you?
Actually, I'm leaning to yeah, because this is one of the few mainline Final Fantasy games I have played. Like I haven't played this one, 10x2. Like the 13 like sequels, I haven't touched those, and I haven't touched 15. But from what I saw of 12, I would like the combat system of that. And this news of you can change your job system, I'm in love with that. Yeah. And I don't have this major game for like May-ish as of right now. So this is a good little time slip filler for me,
I understand. I was asking Shaq, I've never played a Final Fantasy game other than like maybe the first one just briefly on the NES back in the day. And I think 12 was one of the ones that a lot of people were recommending. That or 10, what is it? 10-1 and 10-2. It's so confusing for me. I don't really understand. Like, so is
it's
that
10 and like 10x2.
Is that 11? I don't know, but so
11 I think is a MMO kind of thing.
I see.
I know 14 is one too.
Gotcha. So yeah, even Shell Shock is saying 12, and also 9 is really good. So
yeah, 9 is still like number 1 on the eShop, I think, as of right now.
Cool. The thing I'm kind of waiting on a little bit is I want to see if they get physical releases of some of these things, because that's the one thing we're seeing, like that what is it called, Turbo Chase Horizon or whatever. It's a racing game, came out on the eShop. Now all of a sudden it's got like another ESRB. It's showing up on the ESRB, and it may be getting a physical. So like I'm kind of just pumping the brakes. So if 12 is coming out physical, that may be the first one to snag. And
for right now, for ones we know, it's 12 and 10 and 10x2. Like that's a combo pack, and then 12 is just by itself.
I see.
For 7, 9, and 9. Yeah, for 7, 9, we don't really hear anything. It's just kind of a digital only for those guys. Which I really don't understand for 7, because they could literally put 7 at any price and people buy it physical. Just for the, the history and the story behind that.
Right. Yeah, so who knows? We might be able to recreate our playthroughs of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, where you just stayed right at just ahead of me, just enough. Like if you had the people in chat, Nightcrawler and stuff, just stayed right ahead. So like if I got stuck, like, hey, do this.
Okay, that was so much fun, actually, just experiencing that.
Because I was like, what am I doing? Like I don't even understand this stuff,
Yeah, because you went from yellow to that.
Right. Yeah, Pokemon Yellow to that. That was
that's quite a jump,
Yeah, that's my JRPG experience right there. So, speaking of titles that we're hoping get physical editions, Resident Evil 1, 0, and 4 will be on the Switch in May. Now, there is a physical version of Resident Evil 1 and 0. 0 is on the cart, from my understanding, and 1 is a download code.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's unfortunate, but at least you got something you can put on your shelf, right? So that's
for that one.
And I can tell you guys right now, Delmonic in chat is saying RE games would be great stream content. We will be playing all 3 of these games on stream, late nights, probably some late night Friday, Saturday night streams. I love the first Resident Evil game, and I never played 0, and I've never played 4. So.
Oh, that's right. You never played 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's something to experience. Like 4 is probably my favorite.
Yeah, everybody says that. Hate said that multiple times. That he really loved 4. So, I've played 1, 5, and half of 7. Those are the ones I've played. So, there you go. But those are coming to the Switch in May. All right. A few other
all on the same day.
I actually don't have the exact date here. Let me look it up real quick and we can find out.
I'm pretty sure they're just dropping them all on the same day.
So the other thing, Capcom announced a handful of games. I'll check the date on that while we talk. Phoenix Wright is coming April 9th, and this is a trilogy, right?
Yeah, it's the first 3 games.
First 3 games, which the first one is I think that's the only one I have played, and they're like the perfect just like chill out and relax game, for me. Like they got the whole puzzle thing going on, and some of it was tricky. Some of the puzzles were a little tricky. I would get stuck and have to like really spend some time trying to figure it out. But it was one of those games that when you figured that stuff out, so satisfying. When you and the way they would write those stories and the twists in the courtroom and everything like that, like you're giggling, right?
Yeah, I actually go through them every 3 or 4 years, and I just played the whole series again because I just love those crazy stories so much.
Yeah, they're so great, so goofy. So we've said it before, but the biggest bummer is not being able to yell objection into your Switch. Maybe the app.
Just look up the app.
So here we go. This is from Nintendo Life. It's for Resident Evil. The 3 games will hit May 21st in North America. There will be an option to purchase 0 and RE1 in a box under the title Resident Evil Origins Collection. But in Europe, no mention has been made of a physical copy, which suggests they may be digital exclusives. So
yeah, Europe doesn't really get anything physical from Capcom anymore, unless it's like a brand new game kind of thing.
Yeah, it's another step towards an all digital world. We've done it with music. Yeah. Movies have kind of gone that way. Games are slowly getting there.
Yeah,
they're slowly getting there. And
I just can't believe they didn't do 4 physical, because that's another title if I would buy, like no matter what price they would put that at.
Yeah, and because of all these games being digital, thankfully. SanDisk has a 1 terabyte micro SD card coming out. It's only $449 right now. So.
Wow, what a deal. I bet you that's not enough for Super Nintendo Switch. Like, he probably has to get like 2 still.
Man. You could buy a Switch and a half with that. That is bonkers. So,
but the good news of that is the cards we have now are most likely going to drop because of that. So let's, if you settle for a little less, that's the way to go.
But we may need it with all these games coming out digital, because I can't imagine. I mean, RE4 and RE1 are probably a decent, and unless they really get the compression nailed down, they're probably a couple of gigs, I'm guessing, at least. So
yeah, I know one is for sure, because it would have been on the card otherwise. But I know Capcom, they're using the cheapest card possible, so they can just fit 0 on there, and that's it. And they put 0 on there because that's the one, out of those 2, 0 and 1, that's the one people would give up. They wouldn't give up a 1.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I remember it being 2 discs on the GameCube back in the day, and having to, I think both of those games actually were 2 discs. So.
Oh yeah, they were, because my dad rented the first one from Blockbuster, and like when he had exchanged the disc, he just yelled for me, and I had to go out of my room and pop up the GameCube and change this.
It's like, I'm not getting up. I'm sitting here with my Wavebird. I'm comfortable.
Yeah, it was my Wavebird, but that's the point. He's like, I'm too in the moment. I'm too.
I can't be taken out of the moment. I'm just gonna lay here with my eyes closed, picturing zombies while you switch the disc. So, oh, that's great. That's great. All right. Well, another release date. We have Saints Row 3 coming May 10th. May's looking to be a pretty busy month, and so crazy that game's coming to the Switch. I had actually kind of forgotten about it. That was announced sometime last year, wasn't it? Was that an E3 announcement?
I think it was just like a random Twitter announcement at this point. I can't honestly remember.
It's kind of a blur.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's Saints Row also. It's not like a major news announcement. I mean, they're cool, but it's kind of like one of those things you get like on sale, or like when you're passing by. It's not like something you camp out for or anything. You're not counting down the days to.
Exactly. Some of the weapons in that game are a little questionable.
But good move on their part, because there's not a lot of that kind of genre on the Switch yet. So, they're like the first ones there. Like, hey, let's get some of this profit right here,
Yeah, might as well go for it. Lastly, here is Nintendo has a new stance on content creators, which we found out about that last year, but there's a quote from a representative of Nintendo, and I'll read it here. It's pretty cool. It's nice to see that them finally embracing content creators and what we do. It says Nintendo is making a big step forward by embracing the creator community, and that's a testament to what the power of creators can do. Creators play a big role in making sure that we have a healthy ecosystem of people playing, consuming, and watching gaming. The progress we're making is tremendous. I'm excited for 2019 and everything that's happened this year. I do believe YouTube can play a big part in showcasing and highlighting how important the creator community is to the publishers. So nice to see that's happening. Chase's Dragon says, welcome to 2014 Nintendo. Yeah, but I mean, it really is. There is definite benefit to creators, sharing these games, talking about these games, showcasing these games, because the consumer wants to be informed, right? And when you look at that, you look at the eShop, some games come out, they don't even have a video showcasing what their gameplay looks like. So you're almost taking a risk at some point. So if creators can kind of bridge that gap, because it's just something that we love to do, right? And it's going to help with the sales of some of these indie titles, the bigger mainstream titles, the marketing teams and everything are going to be pushing those pretty hard. But some people show up to a stream and they're like, hey, I haven't seen this game yet. And then it's like, oh, I need to order it right now. Like
I've done that a couple of times.
Yeah. Like once you get a little more information about stuff, it ends up being something that can generate sales. And what's kind of interesting is that, like, this is what they've been saying, like, a lot of times they're like, oh, well, the YouTube videos and the Let's Plays, those are gonna spoil the stories for people. And I understand there are people that like won't buy a game, they'll just watch somebody play through it, and that's enough. That doesn't work for me. I want to experience it myself, So nice to see that's finally happening. But let's move on over to our talking point. We're gonna get into some Pokemon discussion here.
Here we go!
All right. So Mel, I know you've been super excited to talk about this, and I want to get some predictions. What What do you think we're going to see tomorrow? 7 minutes. 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Okay. So I went back and watched the last two major generation reveals. And Gen 6 was roughly about like 7 minutes. And they actually showed off a lot in that one. But when you compared it to Gen 7's video, it was a lot more drawn out. And you pretty much just got, hey, you got a couple of languages being added, and here's the logos. So I'm hoping we're not seeing just logos tomorrow, because I would be intensely upset, because I am ready for new Pokemon. Because I didn't play Let's Go last year. I didn't have Pokemon game. But if you look at the tweet, it shows 3 Pokeballs. So I'm like, hopefully that's the starters. Maybe we'll get that. Because for Gen 6, we got the starters. We got the logos, we got the 2-box art legendaries, and we actually saw gameplay of this. So I'm hoping it's that. I'm setting my expectations. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because this is the first brand new generation Pokemon game for the Switch. And I'm thinking they're going to have a slightly different art style just to distinguish it from Let's Go, but not too outlandish or as big as we want it. Like, remember Town? They're making Town. So I'm thinking it's going to be similar to that kind of style if we do see it tomorrow, which I'm hoping for, because I need me some Pokemon news.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's graphics were going to kind of be the first thing I brought up with you, like taking a look at like Fire Emblem Three Houses versus like Awakening and some of those other games. Like that game moving to the Switch is quite the jump, right? Like you're seeing actual like animated cutscenes, voice acting, the gameplay and everything looks to have more detail, not just the it just looks to be overall improved. And then we've seen Let's Go. We've seen, kind of, it almost looks like you're playing a cartoon. You think it's going to go like just a little step beyond that? Do you think it's going to kind of go a little more towards realism, or more towards like even just a smoother version of Let's Go, and kind of, almost feel like you're playing a cartoon? Do you think it could lean more towards the animated series and almost have more of a cell shaded look, things like that?
See, I would hope it would lean more towards the anime series, but I don't know if it would. It's just, I know they're not going to go full out real. That's way too much out of their ballpark for that stuff. Because I know they probably still trying to really condense their, work output for this. Because we don't know if they added new mechanics or not to this series. And we'll probably find that out later on, couple months from now, because they usually don't show off like the brand new mechanics right away. And this is like their first major like HD Pokemon game. Let's Go was a remake. They didn't have to think about making all these extra choices. Like, they didn't have to design new Pokemon, they didn't have to design the region, didn't have to worry about the story too much. That was all set out and laid out for them. Like, Let's Go is pretty much them testing out like the Switch hardware. Because if you look back on the 3DS and from X and Y to like Ultra Sun and Moon, there is a significant gap, because they had time to work on the games for that system. And I think we're going to see a slightly bigger jump, not too much. I think we might see the outlines back around the Pokemons, maybe. I don't know. I'm not expecting like this huge change physically. I'm thinking maybe map structure, the region structure might be different. Like, I know a lot of people want like open world. I think we're gonna get like semi-open world. Like, remember how in Xenoblade 2, how there was like these big regions where you can just walk around, you can go slightly anywhere, but it's not anywhere, because there was still certain sections blocked off due to story. I think we're gonna see something to that level, but like on a smaller level. You know what I mean?
I get you. Yeah. So I'm going to need a little bit. You're going to have to educate me a little bit here. Okay. This is Gen 8, right?
Yes.
Does that mean with each gen, is there an entire new, like, what was the first, like 140 Pokemon? What was the very first, got to catch them all? Wasn't it like 100 and something?
151.
151. Okay. So does that mean that there's going to be 151 new Pokemon?
Okay, so there's not like a set number for how many new Pokemon we get. Actually, the last 2 gens, we barely got any. It was like in the 60 to 70 range. And I know that sounds like a lot still, but once you really break it down and they have like evolution paths, it kind of shortchanged you. But I don't know if we're going to get like over 100. I would hope for over 100 because I love having just tons of these things. Like, we could have like 2 million of these things and I would be A-okay. But they probably gonna want to stay smaller because they have to think about 7 other generations now, you know? And they're probably afraid of hitting that 1K, which I think we're gonna hit, or at least get close to it with this gen.
So they're not quite at 1K yet with all the Pokemon?
No, we're like in the 840 something, 850s.
I see. Does that include that little Meltan or whatever?
And Melmetal, yeah. We're like in the 850-ish range. I'm still mad I don't have Melmetal. Still mad.
You'll get there. Don't worry. You'll get there.
Yeah, one day. Because I'm not an official, Pokemon master, collector. I don't have them all. And it kills me every single day. I think about it. I'm like, I'm missing this one little guy. And his name has a Mel in it. To have him,
Yeah, you gotta remedy this. We gotta. There's gotta be somebody we can call. So let's talk about starters, right? Because everybody, I see like Delmonic in chat saying, hopefully starters in region, right? That's kind of what everybody wants is the starters in region. So typically there's 3 starters. That's right. We saw three Pokeballs, like you were saying.
Yeah, it's always pretty much 3, unless it's like yellow, you have Pikachu, that kind of thing.
Okay, and
or like the Let's Go series, they have, just those 2.
Is there anything consistent with starters throughout the games? Like, I'm sure the first one was fire, water, and leaf or whatever, or grass.
They're always grass, fire, and water, because that is the easiest combination for kids to learn the triangle. The type triangle, that's the easiest combination. Now, fans of the series, of course, want it to be changed up a bit, but I don't see that happening. I still think we're going to get a grass, fire, and water.
I see. And I remember I played Moon, I think, and I had a little fire kitten or something like that.
Yeah,
like
that's Litten,
right? So, and he seemed pretty cool. I couldn't tell you what the other ones were though. I don't even remember. But were they fire and grass? Or water and grass?
Yeah, because you had Wildlet, the owl, and you had Popplio, which is like the water seal dog.
Okay.
Which is the one I chose.
I see.
Because he's adorable.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. And then, I mean, there's been rumors.
Mm-hmm. Not that many actually, but we had a couple.
Of like every region being available, possibly.
Okay. That's a pipe dream right there, because that's a lot of places. Okay. you might get lucky and you might get like one extra region, but you're not gonna get all of them because that's and a lot of work. It's a very outlandish dream kind of thing, because once you lay it out on paper and you actually have to design all these things, link it all up together, that is a lot of work. And my major concern is Game Freak themselves, because I think sometimes when they go too much like that, they kind of impact their overall quality. So I want them just to focus mainly on one region and just making that the best it can possibly be. Because I didn't play Gold and Silver when they first came out. I played them way much later in life. When Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out, that's when I played Gold and Silver. And the big, surprise at the end of, Gold and Silver is after you beat that game, you can go back to Kanto, which is the first game. And, I started to play through it, and I was like, this is an insanely cool idea. But, once I actually started playing it, I was like, I'm going through this region really fast. The Pokemon in the fields and the grass isn't, that great because I have like this entire team that they're all buffed out and everything, but I'm seeing like Pidgeys and like the rat. I'm like, I don't want to see that. That's not interesting. And they still had the gym battles, which was nice, but again, your team's like decked out, so you're just taking these guys out like that. But if they go back to this idea and actually make it like the other side, like they actually make this region and they went in with the idea of like proper level scaling or like adding different Pokemon from a different generation into the wild and stuff. So I'm not just seeing like Pidgeys and Philos for like 2 or 3 places,
Let me ask you, do you think because of the 3 Pokeballs, there's a chance we're going to see 3 different SKUs?
From the get-go, I don't know about that. Because usually they stick with 2, but they've been known to break rules.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as in North America, we received for the first one it's just blue and red, right? And then yellow came after the fact. But in Japan, they got blue, red, and green.
Blue is actually green over there.
Oh, I see. Okay, so they got red and green. We got red and blue.
Yes.
I understand. Okay, I wasn't sure. I just remember seeing a green, and I was like, I'm confused by this because I don't know why we don't. Why we.
Yeah, that actually messed up a whole bunch of other stuff with us too, since they didn't copy it right. But I don't know.
I see. So are you thinking like at very least you think we're going to see 2 different games?
I'm thinking at least 2.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how they wanted to do Pokemon anymore after the first set. Because, Black and White 2, we got those are sequels. Gen 6 got nothing. They they just got the 1 set of games. And then last time we got another set of sequels. I don't know if they want to go back to just having a 3rd version. Maybe we won't get a 3rd version. Maybe we won't get sequels at all. Or maybe we'll just get another set of sequels. I think it's too early to guess right now.
My guess is that we're going to see DLC.
They have a weird stance on DLC because they believe when you get the game, everything should just be in the game. But they contradict themselves with having the mystical Pokemon, like, you have to go to GameStop to get the cards. Right. They don't count that as like missing from the game. And usually other companies, especially nowadays, they add in like different online components, maybe like a different mode or something. Just they package that through DLC. But for them, I think they would rather make it its own game because they know people would buy it, even though it could honestly be DLC. Like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon could have honestly been DLC. Like the story part of that could have honestly been just a little attachment. But I think they wanted something on the shelf so parents can pick up and buy, so they're not missing out on anything.
Yes, and that was kind of my next question is like, what are the sequels like? Is it the same area, same Pokemon, just different characters and different story?
So the sequels are usually the same region, but there might be like some different areas to them. I know in Black and White 2, they had some different gym leaders too, and like that was like a continuation on the story. I think it was like 2 years after or something like that from the first set of games. But in general, there is a lot of the same stuff in these different in like the 3rd versions or the sequels. But usually they kind of tweak some stuff here and there, and that kind of pushes the edge over for like the really hardcore fans. Because most people just kind of pick one, like they pick one out of the first 2 or they pick the last one. But in general, you want to kind of wait for the last one, but most people can't wait for the last one. They usually get something out of the first set, and then maybe they get like a third, the 3rd games. Because the 3rd games are usually not the biggest sellers. They do well enough on its own, but it's not like brand new Pokemon game. It's like slightly different Pokemon game,
So with the Switch being, I feel like the Switch community as a whole is going to be more like acclimated to DLC and things like that. If they were to, one, they could put out a case with a code in it, just like Fortnite has done, just like they're doing with games in Japan. If that was an option, and they ended up turning this game into the eventual Pokemon Ultimate that had you going back to all the regions and things like that, is that something as a Pokemon fan that is exciting to you, or are you more interested in just having new regions and new Pokemon and just exploring things that way?
That is very split, because Pokemon fan base is so big. A lot of people will be like, yeah, that's my dream. And for me personally, that's not my personal dream, because I don't think they would give each region its due time. I think they would just kind of rush it out and everything. And even if they would to put something in a box, I know them. They would still mark that sucker at $60 because they know people would still buy that. They would not give you a slight discount. They are too prideful of the brand, especially for a mainline game. This isn't like a spin-off. This is a mainline, so you got to pay mainline money.
So let's just say, for the sake of argument, right? Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun came out, what, 2015? 2016?
Like 2016, 2017. It was like one of those two. I think it's 2017.
And maybe do you know how long Gen 8 has been in development?
They've been working on it for a while, because they've been working on it even before it kind of started. But
so
this is probably the longest they've been kind of working on like a mainline gen to like the public knowledge kind of thing.
So let's just say they've been at it for 3 years. That's probably a good estimate.
Yeah, because Pokemon generations are usually like 3 or 4 years long each.
Okay.
So it's in that ballpark.
So the way I'm thinking about it in my head and going back to the DLC and things like that, like, it seems to me that if they drop a game at $60 and it's been in development for 3 years, that essentially would come out to, as far as the consumer is concerned, they're paying $20 a year for development, right? Is that are you tracking with me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So then if each year a new DLC came out at $20, they essentially they would still be making the same money, but they may not have as much overhead because they're already reusing assets and things like that. It's like, I'm neither here nor there on it. I'm just more curious if we're going to see, more of these companies evolve that way, because DLC equals less overhead as far as packaging if they don't go that route. But you still have people that love to have those collections, and get those things in their collections and things like that. So
yeah, it's just Game Freak is probably one of the slowest companies to adapt in certain aspects. This is my main concern about a lot of Pokemon stuff, is how they do things. And they have like the biggest IP in the world right now. Mm-hmm. So once they look at their stuff, it's like, do we really have to change that much? These people are gonna buy it. Right. Why go the extra mile in that sense? Like, why not just focus on a different area? We go an extra mile that way instead.
Well, and like you said, the community is kind of split, and I feel like it was kind of split by Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Those that wanted to go back went back and would probably be like, yes, give us Pokemon Ultimate. That's going to give us all the regions, updated graphics, more online capabilities, things like that. And then you're going to have that crowd that maybe didn't pick up Let's Go. That's like, no, just give me this game and then start working on the next one, and I'll pick it up in 3 years.
Yeah, but see, even that is split too, because not all of them who didn't pick up the game once just focus on like one region at a time. There's still plenty of those guys. They want like all of them connected together. It is just split, like probably like 6-7 different times, because it's so massive. That's why these reveals are so hyped, and that's why you see a lot of bitterness, even though it could look really nice, it could do everything well. It's just, you have so many people, you have to pretty much live up to their expectations, and that is literally impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think, I'm not sure if other communities are like this online and stuff. The gaming community is where I spend most of my time online, but not managing expectations is a huge issue with you know, with this community and people getting angry and things like that. And you know, at the same time, I don't know that we need to constantly say don't expect anything good, you know, but having these expectations of like, I expect this game to have every region, every Pokemon, 17 starters, you know, like
yeah, that's a little much.
you're setting yourself up for failure. Of course you're going to be angry at that point. So
yeah,
but
I hope tomorrow we have enough expectations, because I'm seeing a lot of you know, open world Breath of the Wildness happening, because they made like a statement how they wanted these games to be like Breath of the Wild, but like that statement alone can be interpreted so many ways.
Yeah, so many ways.
So I hope you know, it goes as smooth as it can go, you know.
And the thing with a series like this, that I mean, you're talking about 8 generations, right? Like, I don't even know the amount of games that are out there for this series. But
I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Yeah, there's a huge, like, trying to please everybody is going to be extremely difficult. And you're talking about, you know, a fan base that's going to want the game to still be Pokemon, right? Like, as far as the formula, but then still be updated enough to justify it being a new game. That could be pretty tricky for a company that's been at the same series for this long. You know what I mean?
Because that's exactly how it is. Every single time, it's like, oh, I hope we don't get a virus. We don't get that. Hope it's like Doug. I hope we get you know, like 20 gems. I hope we get the trials now. I hope it's an MMO. You know, I hope it makes me, you know, peanut butter pancakes in the morning. You know, it's insane.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. It's wild. So, well, I'm excited. Nonetheless, this is a game that I'm looking forward to jumping back into. You know, Detective Pikachu's got me more excited for Pokemon than I ever have been. Having this game on the Switch, and a game that I'm able to stream. I have X and I have Moon, but like trying to spend long-term, like play long games on my 3DS, 2DS, it didn't really happen. You know, I could play through Mario games, I could play through Mario Kart, that kind of stuff. But as far as like investing a lot of time in an RPG that I couldn't stream, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So this is going to be exciting for me to jump into this one. And so, and I think we're gonna have a good time naming stuff and things like that too.
Oh, that's gonna be my favorite.
All right. Well, hey, we're gonna wrap this thing up here. Mel, where can people find you?
I'm gonna be in the N64 Josh Discord. Also, quick little announcement for the other podcast show I'm on. We kind of changed the name, so that's important. So that's now Get Indies Pants instead of We Like Indies. But it's spelled like with Indies, you know. Yeah. So that's gonna be popping up in the Spotify feed pretty soon, like the name change, all that stuff.
There you go. I'm glad it finally, like, it feels like it was fate, you know. It was gonna be the name anyway. I don't know why we didn't start. I guess we kind of backed out like the last second, and now it's like, oh, it feels like us, you know, this is appropriate for us. Yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right. Well, guys, you can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube. It's all at N64Josh. Guys, I'm putting out upwards of 7 to even 15 videos a week on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed over there and check that stuff out, because there's a lot going out over there. You can follow the show at the N Powercast. The show notes can be found at n64josh.com/NPC181. If you want to email the show with a question, comment, concern, npc@n64josh.com. If you'd like to get yourself a free book from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/NPC. Pick up something awesome like Blood, Sweat, and Pixels or Ready Player One. The chair I'm sitting in from OPC, go to n64josh.com/OPC, and you'll automatically save $10 at checkout. n64josh.com/store has a bunch of new t-shirts, guys. And one of them on the Smash Bros. Cast, the first bit of advice I gave, which was terrible advice, was just roll. So there's now a Just Roll t-shirt in the store. If you want to check that out again, n64josh.com/store. There's throw pillows, there's blankets, there's coffee, there's all kinds of stuff. So you can go check that out if you'd like. Lastly, if you'd like to help support the content I'm creating, patreon.com/n64josh. All right, come join us in the Discord. n64josh.com/Discord is your invite. We'd love to have you. Lots of people playing all kinds of games, and it's a lot of fun. We also have a Facebook group, n64josh.com/Facebook group. Lastly, if you could rate and review on iTunes, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. We still haven't been able to hit that 5-star. There's a handful of 1-star reviews, so we have to fight those with 5-star reviews. So if you're liking the show and you're listening on iTunes, if you could take a second and do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. The last thing and the most important thing, if you can share this, on your Twitter, your Instagram, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye now.